Hey guys, this is Coach Marco Robert. Thank you so much for checking my channel. Today I want to talk to you about this idea of using podcasts for your business. Hello, my friend. So, if you run a business, there's no way you haven't heard about using podcasts to actually promote your business, to explode your brand. A lot of people are reaching out to me and say, hey, Coach Marco, should I use podcasts? How should I use podcasts? So I want to do an episode on this, right? So first, you need to understand there's two ways to use podcasts, okay? One is you can actually create your own podcast and actually, basically you have your own channel and you invite people, you talk about topics that are interesting and valuable to a specific audience, and then you can build a brand, fairly easily by doing that, especially if you know how to bring value to a specific audience. Now, my favorite way of using podcasts is not to create my own podcast channel, but rather to actually get invited on other people's podcasts, right? Why? Well, there are a lot of podcasts out there with people who have already a huge following. And then the moment that you actually get on their podcast, it's almost like you are granted authority. You're granted respect from sometimes, hundreds of thousands of people. So I love to get invited on podcasts. In fact, if you own a business, you totally need to spend a little bit of time. I have somebody who works for me part-time, who basically that's all she does. She actually finds all the podcasts and then she makes sure that I get invited to those podcasts. Now, if you want to do this on your own, if you're starting a small business and you want to do this, you can look at iTunes, you can look at Mix Energy, you can look at Stitcher. Those are all hot spots for podcasts. So what you want to do is you want to find those podcasts that actually have the most number of followers. Now, the truth is this. When you start out, you're probably not going to get invited on the podcasts that have millions of followers. So you want to hone your message with the smaller podcasts. You might have to do 30 interviews on small podcasts before you actually get a strong message. And then you can actually start reaching out to those podcasts that have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and eventually you get to the point where your message can be distributed like literally in a fraction of a second to millions of people. It's a huge platform. Now, while it's a great platform, most people don't know how to do it. The number one thing that you need to understand is you need to have a very clear and concise message of value. You need to bring specific value. Now, guys, this is probably the one reason why most people fail at business. You understand that most businesses will fail. You realize that, right? It's like 90+% of businesses will fail. The reason is why? Because most people don't know how to create and generate value. Think about it for a second, right? What is business? Business is a simple exchange of value for value. So in order to be successful in business, you need to know how to create a massively powerful value proposition. What does that mean? That means that you need to be able to bring a solution to a big problem and to a large market. If you don't know how to do that, you're not going to be successful. And if you don't know not only how to create the solution, but how to promote the solution in a very succinct way that actually resonates with the market, you're not going to be successful. So before you actually go and start promoting a podcast, I'm going to tell you my rule, okay? Here's what you need to do. Number one, understand an audience that you want to go after. Number two, figure out exactly what is it that this audience wants more than anything else. Number three, figure out what this audience dreads more than anything else. Number four, between what they want and what they dread, find out a solution to a problem that they have, right? Find out the solution. You create a solution. And number five, streamline that solution so that you can actually present it to them in a way that is very easy for them to consume. Okay, so instead of saying, we have figured out how to do all of this, and then we have a mathematical system that prevents the algorithm of your cybersecurity to potentially interrupt the performance of your business, to say, hey, We spent the last 6 months figuring this out, and we have a 3-step process to making sure that nobody can hack your database. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is this. It's one thing to come up with a solution. It is quite another to know how to present that solution to your audience in a way that they're actually going to be resonating with. And that's the secret. Okay? So you want to be devoted to creating an amazing solution. Then you want to be devoted to streamlining and simplifying that solution that you can actually present it to your audience. Now, it sounds simple. It's very complicated. That's actually the reason why most people fail in business, because most human beings don't know how to do this. So what you do is you figure this out. You do it on your own. Then you don't jump on a podcast immediately. Instead, I want you to actually take that solution and take it to the world. Go and network. Join a networking group, or just go to free networking events from your local chamber of commerce or from meetup.com or online. There's tons and tons and tons of networking events that take place online right now. You don't even have to leave your house. Here's why. Because when you are at the networking event, you're going to get to practice expressing your new value proposition. And this is key, my friend. This is key. You need to say it over and over and over again. Here's what's going to happen. The first time you present it, you're going to say, so what do you do? Well, we mathematically have figured out a way to minimize the impact of intrusion on databases that are not being protected by the nodes of computers that serve your business. People are like, okay, what does that mean? I don't know anything, right? That's way too confusing. So you're going to see that when you start presenting your value proposition, at first, people's eyes are going to glaze over. Then you're going to say, then you need to develop enough sensory acuity to listen to it. Say, okay, well, nobody freaking understands what I'm talking about. Okay, so then I need to say it differently. So then try it differently. We aim at protecting your computers from intrusion. Already, people are like, oh yeah, okay, well, that sounds good. How do you do that? Right? Already it's much better. Okay? Then you can say, we're a bunch of scientists who used to work at NASA who have figured out a way to eliminate cyber intrusions. Oh, okay, that's already better. Wow, much better. And then you practice and you practice. And eventually you're going to come down to, we have identified the only 3-step method to eliminating any cyber attack on any computer. Wow, okay? I'm making it up as I go, guys, okay? But basically my point is this. Creating a strong value proposition requires iteration. You're not going to be able to iterate by yourself in your basement. You're going to have to actually bring that process to potential clients, okay? And then that's how you're going to be able to iterate. And the more you iterate, the more your value propositions become strong, okay? Then you want to go and actually sell this to people. Because just people looking at you and saying, oh, this is really awesome, does not mean it's good. It's good when people pay for it. Okay? Once you've made some money, then you know you have a good value proposition. Then hire someone and actually start podcasting. Does that make sense? Because otherwise, I'm going to tell you something. If you start podcasting without having a strong value proposition that is proven and where people have actually spent money to actually prove to you that they care about your value proposition, nothing's going to happen. You're going to waste your time, your money, and your energy podcasting. Okay? But if you do it the right way, if you follow the right sequence, podcasting can explode your brand literally in a matter of weeks or months at best. Understand? So guys, I hope you enjoyed this my little shindig here on the idea of podcasting. It's a very, very important thing for businesses. It doesn't matter what business you're in. Podcasting can completely explode your business. This is Coach Marco Robert. I hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure you leave me some comments. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and also hit that little bell here at the bottom. It basically tells YouTube to notify you every time I come up with a new video. And by the way, actually, I think the next one is about to pop up right here in the corner. So this is Coach Marco Robert. Hope you enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Guys, this is Coach Marco Robert. Remember,
If you keep on doing what you've always done, you're going to keep on getting what you've always gotten. Click on the next videos and continue your education.